What's up, Hacksters? We have Helen Leigh in the studio today. Helen, what do you get up to? What's your deal?
I'm kind of up to lots of different things. I'm a creative technologist, which basically means I like to smush music and nerdy stuff together. And within
Sounds
that, I know, I do lots of gesture-controlled instruments and lots of capacitive touch sculpture-y type instruments. Anything that makes noises I'm into, basically.
And you did a book.
I do have a book on electronics for kids, published by McGraw-Hill. It's called The Crafty Kid's Guide to Electronics. And it's a book about beginning your electronics journey, but with no solder, no code, and no wiring. It's all about sewing, paper circuits, and all sorts of awesome things like that. Yeah.
So you can find that on Amazon.
You can.
There's also what we are putting together today, which is the MINI.MU gloves.
Ooh.
Yeah, so cool. Oh, I'm so excited. We've been talking about this for ages, and today's the day. And just, So, but before we get started on that, I'm going to hold the suspense for a little bit longer. This is your Twitter.
Yes.
It's Helen Leigh.
Yes, that's right.
And then we've got Instagram, HelenLeigh_makes.
That's true. And
you can see some of her sweet sound instruments, which, if you're in the Bay, you'll get to experience tomorrow at Noise Bridge.
That's true. That is true.
There's going to be a whole DIY audio music meetup. And I'll be there, and Steven Trenovich will be there.
Yes, that's true. It's going to be awesome. We're going to make some stupid noises and have loads of fun, and maybe some tacos.
Tacos. Yes. Taqueria Cancun.
I live in Berlin, where all the Mexican food is just genuinely appalling. So it's always one of the highlights of a visit to California for me. I'm like,
but you have vegan doner. We don't have that.
It's amazing. It is real good.
And then so you can get it on Adafruit, MINI.MU, and then you can also get it on Pimoroni if you are in other places. And I just learned that Pimoroni stands for Pirate Monkey Robot Ninja.
Yes.
What?
They're super awesome. They're really, really great company and really nice people.
And they have great enamel pins.
They do.
Which is the most important thing.
They do.
So let's stop talking about stuff and start putting these together. Yes. Okay, yeah, we can do both. So, all right. So we have this package here.
Yeah.
It says it's a full kit, includes the microbit.
It does.
Fantastic.
And also, can we just? I want to just show you something. This is very exciting. This is my hand. I am a hand model. Which is
you don't have the capsule on your hand like I was taught from Zoolander.
But I've got really dodgy fingers because I'm a maker. Yeah. So basically, this involved me lying down on the floor at really odd angles while the person told me to bend your hand this way so my wonky fingers didn't show. But so hand
your
model.
Fingers are great. I also I used to do gold nail polish to try and do a visual style.
Nice.
But the problem is making stuff I can never keep nail polish nice, and so it'd be chipping and flaking.
No, my nails are super chipped, but they're matte grey.
Nice,
They're a matte grey. I like them because they look cool with circuits.
They look rad.
Yeah.
So then we've got make a glove, make music, and this is a little. This is the first time I'm doing the camera stuff upside down, so forgive me. The simple kit is easy crafting and coding project for almost all ages. Almost all ages.
Read upside down. Well, basically, as long as you can thread a needle.
I just told you that was my greatest weakness.
It's alright, I'll show you.
How can you do this to me?
I'm going to give you some good tips on how to thread a needle easily.
Yay! Cool. So, now we can all learn.
Yeah, as long as you're old enough to be able to wield a needle.
Okay.
So maybe not for babies.
All right. I don't have my license yet. Is that okay?
No, that's fine. I'll be here. I'll be your safety guide.
Was it 2? You'll be able to control sound with the movement of your hand and even play simple tunes.
Yes.
Oh yes. So does it store samples?
Okay, so we're on the microbit, which is a super cheap, super awesome microcontroller for education. It's not got enough space to really store and play samples. So what it does is we control simple chiptune. So basically a little square wave. So it sounds like a Super Mario Brothers kind of thing. But you can, so out of the box, this was designed as a teaching experience to get kids to learn about code and wiring and also sewing, because that's a good skill too. But and also just general awesome electronics.
Yeah.
But so out of the box it does the chiptune thing, but I've also hacked it to be able to control professional music software. So I've got this to control Ableton, Logic, Pure Data patches. It's possible. It's basically I've been able to hack this into using it as a MIDI controller. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
So speaking of Ableton control, I've seen Imogen Heap use the original MINI, or what is it?
The MINI.MU
gloves.
Yes.
Which are now available commercially.
They are, and for a lot cheaper than they used to be. So they're
like £3,500.
I know, they're expensive, but they're like really high-end MIDI controllers. This is my version that I developed with the MINI.MU team and Imogen. It was meant to be super cheap and super accessible, and also as a way of teaching electronics, it's really inspiring. Because I find when I'm teaching electronics that it's real nice to not just be like, hey, blink this LED. If you link
that's cool too.
Which is super cool.
When you're leveling up, you want more options.
Well, not just that. Actually, if you're teaching in a classroom and you're teaching something like Arduino, and you've got this really high learning curve, and actually, if before you get to being able to be creative with the technology, I find you lose quite a lot of the class.
Oh yeah.
Whereas if you get to do something real simple and real quick, and also it's inspired by something that is used by Ariana Grande, like you're gonna get every single 11-year-old. Oh yeah, no, MINI.MU is the MIMU is used by Ariana on tour. On her last tour.
Yeah.
So basically, you go in, you show them a video of Ariana using these like really awesome gloves on her stadium tour, and they're like, "So how would you like to make one of these?" And like the little kids just like, their minds get blown.
That's fantastic.
So I like to make educational stuff that has a hook to it. So that's where it came from. But yeah, the MIMU itself is, you're absolutely right. It used to be like just handmade. You could order them, but they would be made one by one, which is why they were crazy expensive. But now they're made. Now they're being able to. You can pre-order them, and I think they're like $2,500 or something. Which is still expensive. I think this is I think this is $33.
Yeah.
I think. I know, but of course it doesn't do quite the same. It's not quite as advanced, but it's still cool.
But that's the whole thing. Is like you have multiple levels of accessibility and power. And,
oh yeah, $33.50. Wow, look at me knowing that.
This is gonna be way more easy to get involved with.
Yeah, for sure. And I created this for kids, but actually there's lots of artists now using this, which is kind of surprising, but kind of also super exciting. So let's open it up. Let's see what's in here.
I could not wait any longer.
Oh my god, do it.
I know I'm the one who's usually talking and making it impossible to move on, but ooh, look at the colors!
Oh my gosh!
Okay, first off, obviously I have sort of color preferences, and this plays right into that, and it's glorious. So we've got this booklet, which shares all the things. Story time. This is very difficult for me. Spatial awareness. But wow, it's like a whole poster.
Yeah, it's a whole poster. So you've got
the directions.
You've got how to make it. You've got on the back it's how to wire it up, and then how to code it. And you can code it with a computer, or you can code it with a tablet as well.
Oh, cool!
Yeah, which is cool. And then we got a little troubleshooting section, and then some ideas for what to do next.
There's a microbit app.
Yeah, it's really good. It's real good actually.
And it says "Don't panic," which is very
important. Guess who wrote that? It's got a little sparkle heart as well.
Yeah, I know.
It's definitely written by me. It's the best emoji. Maybe. I don't know, the lightning one?
Oh, yeah. Those are both great. I use those a lot.
And I'd say the sparkle. I made an emoji a plush sparkle heart on my book. That is light up. It's real cute.
I like the straight up just sparkles as well.
Top emoji choice.
Yeah. So here we have the microbit.
We do.
And it's a blue one.
Ooh.
Have very clear biases.
Real nice.
Gorgeous. You've got your 2 button inputs. You've got your pins. So we're going to be hooking up to the 0, 3 volt and ground.
That's
is that right?
correct, yes.
And those will power the other thingy, which is a speaker.
Not just a speaker, ladies and gentlemen.
What is it?
This is the world's first commercially available sewable speaker.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No way. That's super cool.
If you put enough niche things on a sentence, you too can have a world first. Yeah. So this is it's a black and gold. My
solid.
Favorite.
Yeah.
My favorite colors. MINI.MU speaker, which you attach the crocodile clips on the top there, and then if you flip it over, you can see You've got this is the back of the speaker.
Here in
and what we've done is
alligator clips.
Yeah.
Maybe it's different in Florida.
Oh yeah, you call them alligator clips here, don't you? No, we call them crocodile clips in Europe.
I was just thinking today, I was reading a webcomic with like horse skulls, and they kind of look like that. Grim. Sorry. Anyway.
So that's the speaker, and what we've done is we've mounted it underneath the PCB, and then we've routed. I don't know if you can see that, but we've routed like cutouts.
If we change the focus, we can pull it. Yes.
Oh yeah, here we go. So we've routed a cutout, so the sound will come out, but also the fragile cone of that speaker is protected by the circuit board.
That's a great.
And you
point.
can see
Especially
here
with
we've got exactly. Yeah, believe me, if they can ruin it, they will. It's great, you know. So you have to make things pretty robust. Oh, totally. You've got to make your electronics robust when they're for kids. And then we've got like 4 holes here, for sewing them onto your glove.
Beautiful.
MINI.MU.
And then we have your microbit sort of introductory thingamajig that's sort of like your first step if you want to not do the glove first.
Yeah. I mean, that's the nice thing about using a microbit rather than our own microcontroller is that it's already got an awesome ecosystem of projects out there. You know, this is meant to be an entry-level kit.
And it's got all this stuff already on it, like unlike the
it's
Arduino,
I mean, that's real... I love the Arduino,
do love
but I would say that I would never teach with that in schools anymore. I teach with the undergrad level, but in schoolwork I would use either the microbit or the Circuit Playground Express.
Love the Circuit Playground.
Yeah, me too.
What's this thing? Oh, it's not in here.
Yeah. But yeah, Circuit Playground Express is great, and the microbit is great, but what's this? A Maker Uno. Yeah, I have seen this before.
It's got like an LED on each of the digital pins.
That's
it's got
nice.
a buzzer and a
Yeah, having some onboard functionality right out of the box is really important for kids because you can just get started. $6, really. Wasn't this a Kickstarter or something?
But people have been having trouble, I think, getting started with it, unfortunately.
Oh, really? That's a shame. I mean, the thing is with electronics for education is almost the electronics are secondary. It's the documentation that's the most important thing.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, so if you don't get that right, I don't think
But all these options.
But yeah, no, the microbit's great. I love it. And it's like $9, I think, here. $10 to get one. No, anyway, it's on the microbit. There we are. $15. It's $15 for one of these.
Look at that.
And they're pretty indestructible.
Purchase it alongside. If you check this box here.
Yeah, no, they're pretty great. I really like them.
Cool.
No, they're pretty great.
So we've got. This feels like it already has batteries in it.
It does already have batteries in it. Batteries included.
What?
I know.
Is there an on-off switch?
There is. I know. Nothing but the best.
I'm so excited about this. This has been an ongoing discussion about wearables, especially. Like,
I know.
I flipped out because the Adafruit Gemma has an on-off switch.
It's so good. Yeah, you need an on-off switch. And then this is a particularly nice micro USB.
It has this nice silky finish.
I know, I love that. It feels like the silicone wire that you get, which is one of my favourite wires.
I haven't picked up any of that, but I really need to.
It's really good. Adafruit sell a few different colours. It's lovely. It's really nice to work with.
Legal stuff.
Yeah, nice. That's what you want.
My fave.
Top notch.
Got some alligator clips. We've got the thread and the needles. This is so exciting. I'm glad you're letting me do this.
Are you kidding me? This is really fun. Something interesting about the needles actually is you've got 2 different sizes inside. We've got 4 different needles.
Oh really?
Mm-hmm.
Does one of them have an extra large?
Oh! Yes. So we have like beginner and advanced needles.
That's right. I just started the easiest one.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool.
That's fantastic. Yeah. And this polyester thread.
Yeah.
It says L on it. Is that because it's large?
I don't really know actually. I don't know why it says L on that. Oh. Sorry.
No worries. Beautiful teal.
I know.
Color scheme.
I got to choose this. It was so fun. We tested. I think we did like 20 different colors on silk screens to try them out, and then we decided on teal and orange because.
I was gonna ask what you call these colors because
I call this teal, and then orange. Obviously, it's orange. But what we've got on here is we've got you can see that, so it's a silk screen. We've printed on it with different size gloves, and then we've got this is the battery pouch here, and then this is the pouch for the microbit. So basically you put your hand against this, and I've got like I've got very small hands, so you just cut along. It's just a guide. If your hands are much smaller than this, you cut. Obviously you can you don't have to go around the lines. But yeah, you'd probably be the same. Yeah. So what you do is, first of all, we'll cut outside. If we cut outside the small,
Cool. I think I can.
Do you think you can manage that? While you're doing that, I'll tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to thread your needle for you. There's going to be lots of needle threading, so
okay, cool. I'll still get to try.
You're still going to get to try, and I'm gonna show you my secret way of threading a needle.
And what I'm assuming is that, as with most sewing projects, we're going to sort of sew this inside out, so the pattern's on the inside?
Exactly, yes. To start off with, I mean, yeah, well, I'll show you that when we get to it. But so what we're going to do is we're going to take a length of thread that's about as long as my forearm, a bit longer actually, and then we're going to break it off. You can use scissors if you want. And then basically you wet the end of the thread and you twist it together. I mean, it's fine, like, actually this is kind of new thread, so it's not like fraying too much, but if it's fraying you might want to lick it a bit and get on. And then what you do is, instead of putting the needle onto the thread, you hold the thread steady, and you put, instead of holding the thread with the needle eye looking at you, you want to hold it so that the thread, the eye of the needle is kind of is at 90 degrees to your face. So basically what you're doing is you give yourself the optimum amount of control. This is kind of far away from me. There we go. So yeah. So you're not trying to use your depth perception. Exactly. So basically you're just, because you can see them when the thread comes through the other side. And then I'm going to show you my very lazy way to tie a knot.
Okay, yeah.
Which is what we want, right?
Yeah.
There are different ways. You can use a needle threader as well, but I just find them super fiddly.
Yeah, and then you have an extra tool that you're going to lose all the time.
And they always break, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, if you do find it difficult to thread a needle, we do have the larger ones, which are quite considerably more easy to thread the needle.
And since this is a sort of plushy felt, it'll kind of obscure the holes no matter what.
Oh, totally.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's very forgiving of rubbish sewing.
Good.
So what we're going to do is we're going to double knot this thread, which means that we're going to take the two ends of the thread and we're going to pull them together, and the needle is right at the other end like this. Okay, so then you'd be surprised how many people actually how many kids tie the knot at the needle. Yeah, I mean, but to be honest, like it's yeah, exactly. It's a good skill, to be honest. It's really, sewing's really good for, I'd say sewing and soldering are really good for fine motor skills. Yeah, so when you're teaching kids, it's not just about, you're teaching lots of skills, and motor control is really important. Anyway, okay, so to tie a thread and knot, okay, the easy way. So most people will loop it around in itself and then tie a knot and then try and tie another knot on top of it, which is okay, but it's super fiddly. So I do it the lazy way, which is you get your finger and you put the thread just above it, then you wrap it around the other way so it forms an X like that. Yeah. Then you put your failure. Then you put your thumb in that X, and you roll the whole thing off of your finger, and then pull it taut, and then you've got like a nice big knot there.
This is magic.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. There we go. Did you ever think you'd see a sewing tip on Hackster?
Maybe. I've done I think maybe one or two things, but not I did not know that trick.
Yeah, it's a good trick. My friend Rihanna in London told me that trick.
Your friend Rihanna?
Rihanna, yeah, she's called Rihanna Makes on Twitter. She's
Rihanna.
Yeah, Rihanna. She's rad.
Not the singer.
No, not the singer. No.
But it sounds like
she's real cool. She does a lot of sewable electronics.
Cool. Should I go ahead and do these other ones real quick, or shall we?
Sure.
Let's get going.
Okay, yeah, we can
do
do that.
This, and
okay,
then
what we do? So we've got this, we've got these, and this is. So this is where you decide if you're left-handed or right-handed as well. So if you're right-handed,
if I could decide that'd be nice.
Yeah. Okay, so if you want it on your left. If you want it on your right hand, actually it doesn't matter yet. We're gonna put it
right with the pocket.
Yeah, when we put the pockets on, that's when we decide if it's left-handed or right-handed. So the first thing we're going to do is put the insides together. So that's the outside. And then, I mean, if you wanted to keep the number 1s and 2s on the outside, it doesn't really matter.
Or put the outsides together so that
put the outsides together, and then we're going to sew along here. Okay, so we're going to sew from the bottom to the top. Just in a straight line.
I hope you have a lot of pattern ready, because this might take me a while.
That's okay. Let me just show you how to start it off as well.
This doesn't... So, I usually do a looping stitch. We might...
No, a looping stitch isn't... We're going to do a running stitch for this. So, basically what I do is go through, and there's actually a line here to show you where to sew. And if you want to make it more secure, I do a couple of loops around the edge, like this. I'm just going to start it off for you, and then you can sew.
Cool.
And then, so we do a couple of loops around the edge to make it a bit more secure. And then we're going to do a running stitch all the way up to the top. Okay?
Right.
So the way we do that, a running stitch just means like an innie-outie stitch. That's the technical term for it. So what you're doing is you're pushing your needle through the thread, and then you're pushing it back up again. Like, so you can either go through one way, and then back the other, like this. Or you can be super lazy, which I love to do. Yeah. Just push the needle in and back it out like that.
Yeah.
In and out and in, and then you just push the whole thing through. Like, whoop! You just did 3 stitches.
Fantastic.
Damn. Okay, there you go.
Right. Yeah.
So there we go. And yeah, the felt is like fairly forgiving, so it doesn't really matter if you don't get it super. I'm gonna put this here as well. So
yeah.
Ooh.
So we have stuff to look at.
Oh yeah, they're pretty cool.
So lazy.
It's good, eh? It makes the that lazy stitch is.
I'm super paranoid, so I always overbuild things, which for me means like, the looping stitch, whatever you call it. What is the name for that?
Well, the looping stitch. What you mean, around the edge, or you mean the back stitch?
No, the back stitch. Yeah.
Oh yeah, back stitch. Yeah. I mean, back stitch is more secure.
Mostly just because I break everything.
Yeah. I mean, but the thing is, if it breaks, you can just sew it back up again. It's not a big deal. I mean, that's one of these skills you need to be teaching as well, is, if things break, what you do is you fix them.
We talked about this a lot during today's thing with Jay. How about
it's not a big deal. If something breaks, you don't throw it away, do you? No. You just fix it.
You
not a big deal.
Better the next time.
So you got right to the top.
Yeah.
That's great. And I do the same. We're going to do the same looping thing. I'm going to show you how to tie off as well neatly.
Oh, delightful.
So we're going to loop round. And then what we're going to do, to tie off nice and securely, what you're going to do is push your needle through like this until you've got a loop. Don't put it all the way through, okay? Then you're going to push your needle through the loop once and twice, and then you pull the whole thing taut. So essentially you've just made a knot.
Yeah.
And you're done. Cut it
Beautiful.
off. And then we have it. So do you want to try and thread the next one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like I'm ready.
Well, for sure. But first of all, let's prepare this. So we've got it stitched around the outside, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to open it out like a butterfly. Mm-hmm. Such a beautiful, weird-looking butterfly. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then we've got to decide if it's left or right.
Yeah.
So if you're left-handed, you want to put the microbit pouch, which we haven't cut out yet. Do you want to cut out the microbit pouch? If you put the microbit pouch on top of your hand and the battery pouch on the bottom of your hand. Are you left-handed or right-handed?
Right-handed.
Okay, so you're right-handed. We're going to put your hand here, right? So it essentially would be like this once it's finished.
Yeah.
Okay, so we want to put the battery pouch on the underneath, like on the wrist, like that. And then the microbit pouch right here. So that's what we're going to do.
Being way too perfectionist about this. Sorry.
That's okay. And again, so when you're doing, if you're left-handed or right-handed, you're going to have to switch over the microbit pouch top to front. Well, depends really.
Cool. So how was your Maker Faire experience?
My Maker Faire experience was awesome. It was my first Maker Faire, actually.
Really?
Yes, it was. And my first time doing, so I did a talk as well. I was super nervous, but it went really well.
Nice.
The talk slots are only 25 minutes. We just went by like this. I spoke about music technology and sound hacking, and did a little bit of a whistle-stop tour of some of the history of sound hacking. Obviously, all instruments are made up. Yeah. So, but we talked about the advent of, I guess, modern electronic music hacking, which was
circuit bending and stuff?
No, before that. So in the 1940s, when tape recording started to become a thing, there was a weirdo artist movement that came out of Paris called Musique Concrète.
Oh yeah.
And what they did was they used a scalpel to cut up tape recording things, and then they would play them backwards and forwards and make these terrible rackets. But these terrible, arty, weird rackets were massively influential on modern music. You can hear the Musique Concrète techniques on, Beatles, everything. Like the one, the goes,
The one that...
Open your mind, relax, and go downstream. At the beginning of it, it goes woo woo.
Oh, cool.
That's Musique Concrète. In fact, one of the dudes who initially did Musique Concrète.
Did he like help with that?
Yeah, no, he did that. Yeah. So, okay, right-handed, yeah? Mm-hmm. Okay, so if you're right-handed...
And we have the one to look at, actually.
Oh, yeah, we do.
That's right.
Here's one I made earlier.
Yeah, so here's
That's not a thing here.
What?
Here's one I made.
Here's one I made
earlier. That's like a Blue Pizza thing in the UK.
It's like a cooking show thing.
Okay, right. Blue Pizza is a children's show, and they always had a make every week.
Yeah.
And it was, I loved it. It was such a good.
My favorite was the Clangers.
The Clangers were all cool. Yeah, Soup Dragon. Best dragon.
So we have the battery pouch on the other underside, right? Yeah. Sort of facing up. And then we have the microbit pouch here with the prongs towards your wrist.
Actually, just gonna, because we're right-handed, so I'm just gonna cut a little extra blob. Here, because we need to have the 3VN grind visible. You see? So I'm gonna cut a little extra.
I'm done with blobs. Love blobs.
Yeah, maybe like a bit of a blob. Yeah. Just gonna cut a little bit extra off. But yeah, so Musique Concrète was like super interesting and super influential. But then I talked about Daphne Oram, who's a sound engineer who started the BBC radiophonic workshop in the 1950s.
Wow.
And she was the first person to make music out of an electronic sine wave.
Cool.
And then
What's her name?
Daphne Oram. Oh, you should definitely look her up. She's super exciting.
Cool.
And you know, it's pretty tragic how she was forced out, but you know. Oh, being a woman in the 50s.
Yeah.
Excellent. And then Delia Derbyshire as well, who started...
Delia Derbyshire is
awesome.
We know.
Yeah, so Delia Derbyshire worked in the radiophonic workshop, which Daphne Oram founded.
Ah.
Yeah,
cool.
It was really interesting history. And she's got a book on... It's just been reissued. It's really interesting and really weird. It's about physics, music, and electronics.
Wow, awesome.
And it's really arty and real strange. And lots of... I think they've just reissued it as a hardcover.
Wow,
anyways, really worth if you're interested in electronics, physics, and music. Are you doing it? Yes, first time. See, come on.
Well, I probably don't need that much.
No, well, let's do the battery pack first. We can you surround it in a U shape.
Neat. Okay, and now for the other end, you had this strategy with the X.
Which is the X, thumb over it, and then roll it off, and then pull.
Like still?
Okay. Hold your thumb over it, roll it. Just do that motion.
Doing it. I don't have that much fine motor control. They always told me I would develop that through doing piano lessons, but I feel like it was like that. Like hand-eye coordination was always the...
Yeah, I've got freakily good hand-eye coordination.
So nothing up from below, I'm assuming.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
I mean, to be fair, like, it doesn't really matter, but yeah, if you come up from below, you're hiding the knot.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I do it. Like that's my like that.
That needs to be another knot.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try this again. Oh no. Do the rolly thing.
Like that.
Yeah. Oh no. I'm just gonna tie
it. Takes a little bit of practice.
I'm just gonna tie it with my hand, my little.
It takes a couple of goes to get the rolly thing down, but once you've got it down, it's you never go back because it's just
so much nicer than
easy.
What I'm doing right now, which is a huge pain.
Oh dear.
Okay. Maybe I'll still do like another little sort of whip around so that it. And it's hard to see where exactly close to the edge, but
I mean, it's fine. You know, we gave enough. I mean, it's a kit for children.
Yeah.
You know, we gave enough. It's not.
If they can do it.
Well, as in, like, you know, it's okay. That, and the felt is really forgiving as well.
Yeah.
So it's slightly stretchy. So if you make it a bit too small, it's fine.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's not the end of the world.
This
Kind of
thing.
Daphne Oram and Delia Derbyshire, really interesting human beings. And then I spoke about a bunch of music tech projects that I love that come out of London and Berlin. I live in Berlin, but I spent a long time in the maker community in London.
Yeah.
And both of those places are really good for music technology. So I spoke about a bunch of really cool places, really cool projects that I love.
What are your faves?
So, One of my faves that I talk about is, so there's a community in London called Hackster.io, who are run by Tom Fox and Tim Yates, and I'm part of the extended Hackster family. We're essentially a bunch of nerds who make instruments.
They were sort of involved in this Abbey Road hackathon.
They were indeed, yeah. No, they ran it. They're awesome human beings. So as part of that extended community, there's this, actually he's quite a famous YouTuber now, I think. There's a dude called Sam, and his YouTube handle is MINI.MU computer. And one of my favourite of his he made a pipe organ made of Furbies, and it's horrific. Yeah, it's really awful, and I love it. So that's one of my favourites. So my friend Phoenix Perry, she does like more games than music, but like a lot of her work involves music as well, and she's got these lovely creatures at the moment. It's part of a project, it's a game actually, called Bots Party. Yeah, it's real cute, and there's like 3 bots, like 3 cute little bots, and they have like capacitive sensing, and basically when you're the idea is that you pick them up and like play with them, and then if someone else is holding one, you have to like kind of like hold hands or something. So it's about human interaction, and basically they sing to you. It's so cute. They sing to you, and they also sing to you differently if you're holding hands with somebody else. It's basically
like a sort of touch thing.
Yeah, it's super adorable. Really, really cute.
That's really adorable.
Yeah. And also this guy called Andrew Hockey, who's my friend in Berlin. Basically, I bullied him into moving into Berlin, but now he's very grateful. But he makes, he's made this, I guess, marble run synthesizer. It's like a big marble run, and it's actually fairly simple electronically. He's just got like the marbles that run down it are
is this the
metal.
guy?
Huh?
Is this the Wintergatan guy?
No, it's not. But basically, these marbles run down. They're metal marbles, and then he's got copper tape attached to different parts of it. So it's kind of like a generative. So basically, when the metal marbles cross the path, they trigger different sounds.
Ooh, I might not have enough thread for this. Oh, I do just enough.
I believe in you.
Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, I've often had to.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
No, there we go. Okay,
Yay.
cool. Twice through, pull it down.
Yeah,
we have
cut it off.
Fantastic.
Teamwork.
I thought I was gonna run out.
It's tremulous.
So much stress.
So stressful. Oh my gosh.
Good stress. If there were never any uncertainty, it wouldn't be fun.
No, exactly. Here we go. So here is your...
How do we sew on this? We sew just down the sides and then...
We do. Okay, so this is the one place where you need to pay a little bit of attention.
Oh no!
A little bit of attention.
I don't have any brain left after make our hair.
So, look, see, that fits in so nicely.
That's so nice! And it even sort of snug, like, holds it.
I know. It's got a little bed. Well done. And then this one... If you sew over the arches, your microbit won't be able to peek through. Okay, so basically you're going to sew the same... words.
I really want to have a little trunk. It looks like a little elephant.
I know, it's so cute, isn't it? Next design iteration.
Yes.
Elephant trunk, that'd be real cute. So basically you're going to sew the same. It's like a U as well. Again, just like this is a U. This will be a U. So we're going to sew...
Oh, so you just sort of sew under.
Yeah, exactly.
On the bottom.
So you see this is all this is, just... across. You just sew
Oh,
down,
yeah.
across.
That's continuous.
Yeah.
Fancy that.
There you go. I made here's one I prepared earlier.
Oh. Yeah. Oh no.
Uh-oh.
I pulled on the knot and it like.
Oh well, in that case, then my knot was poor quality. It's not your fault. There we go.
Cool. Thanks.
There we go. You're very welcome. Yeah, I mean this is this.
Oh no, I gotta start it though.
When I was designing this kit, I tested it out with I think like 60 different kids in different classrooms, and it's honestly hands down the nicest workshops I've ever run. I've never had someone not manage to do this, and I've never had someone not have a good time.
Well, that's a challenge.
Yeah, I know. I've there's always someone who's like, oh, I hate this, is boring, but not with this kit. Honestly, it's been one of the nicest projects I've ever worked on.
It's so cool.
And it's my first time I've had a product in a box, so that's kind of exciting to me.
Yeah.
Someone I know saw them in the what's that store? Is it Micro Center here? Is it? They sell like electronic.
Oh, cool! Yeah.
Yeah, someone sent me a picture on Twitter. Nice. They're like, "Look, I saw your product in store," and I was like, "Ah, oh my gosh, so cool!" Yeah, it's a kind of a weird feeling, and I get it's kind of nice to see the box.
Trying not to stab you in the face with this needle by accident.
It's okay. I have a very high pain tolerance.
All right.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah. I mean, I like my eyes though, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Please don't stab me in the eyes.
Noted.
if that's not too much trouble.
I'll try.
Yeah.
No guarantees.
Okay. Cool.
I mean, I did spend all weekend with Archimedes, like stabbing me in the eye with his eyebrows. That's something that I've had to work through. I need to trim them down. Like most pets, you have to like trim their nails. This
is true.
For him, it's his eyebrows.
Yeah.
I should just fix the model.
Oh my goodness.
So what's next?
So after this, we're going to close the butterfly back up and sew up the other side of the glove, and then we're done with the sewing.
Cool.
Well, we have to sew the thumb bit as well.
And what is next for you?
Well, what is next for me? Okay, so I'm in San Francisco this week, running an event in Noisebridge with you tomorrow night, which everyone's welcome to.
You're doing all the work, though.
Well, it's not really that much work. I'm literally just turning up and bringing a bunch of instruments. But yeah, so anyone in San Francisco, totally welcome to come along and jam with us. I'm
excited to. I didn't get to play with your instrument the other night, but it's this like
which one?
Particle photon.
Oh yeah.
Isn't it?
No, it's actually based on Beaglebone.
Oh really?
Yeah. So I've got this 2 circuit sculpture creatures, which use capacitive touch. They're quite big actually. They use capacitive touch to trigger. So basically, they're attached to something called a Beaglebone, which is a microcontroller, which is rad.
With the Bella Mini, right?
With the Bella Mini, yeah, exactly.
That's
so
right.
the Bella is one of my favorite. I've only just started using it. Like maybe, I think I used it first like a few months ago.
Do you know Becky Stewart?
Becky Stewart's amazing. Her GitHub is like one of the best GitHubs. Like what?
It's so good.
She's one of those people, and you're like, you look at her output, and you're like, I am so lazy.
I'm sorry, blocking you. Feel free to like shove me aside. By the way, I might stab you in the eye.
Yeah, you can stab me. Okay, pass me those scissors.
You're sitting over here.
Becky Stewart's GitHub is like, it's the leading zero. She's so productive. It makes me want to die. It's so cool. She's awesome.
Oh,
it's really awesome.
Bit of a slant there, but oh well.
It's okay. It's got personality. Yeah, so look, so that's nearly done.
Yeah.
What we're going to do is we're going to fold it back up.
Oh yeah.
And then we're going to sew up here, and then the last bit is that.
Okay, cool.
And then we're done. All right, let me do. I'll do one needle. You can do another one.
Cool.
Teamwork. Bad teamwork. Terrible teamwork.
Yeah.
Whoop. There we go. Snip. Okay, then yeah. It was so Becky Stewart actually worked on the Baylor, but she's got her own lab now at Imperial. She's moved from the Baylor
Imperial
is from
College London.
Yeah, it's really good. It's a really good uni. It's like one of the best in the UK, and she's working there now. So she was working at the University of the Arts London, which is I think the Queen Mary campus, and there's a PhD lab there called the Augmented Instruments Lab.
What?
You need to go. It's basically music tech nerds have a PhD lab, and the output is so cool and so weird, and like that's all they do is make augmented instruments, like modern instruments, using different new technologies, and they've developed this what do they call it? A cape, don't they? The Beaglebones capes. Yeah. They've developed this cape for the Beaglebone, which basically
this whole thing is super low latency.
Super low latency. So basically, one of the reasons the Beaglebone's real cool is it's got, I think, 3 different chips on it, and you can. There's my hand. It's got 3 different chips on it, and you can and like it does, like, because of that it can process things super fast. And I think I think the Baylor makes use of a Linux OS. I don't know if that's the right term, but it's something called Xenomai, which allows you to prioritize things as you wish. So basically what the Baylor does is prioritizes all audio signals. and that allows them to get a latency of less than 1 millisecond,
wow.
which is faster than we can detect, basically.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, which is amazing. And also, as well as the latency, it's got a bunch of like onboard, it's got like a preamp on there, so you can just like plug it straight into your speakers.
That's wonderful.
Which is real cool.
Speaking of someone who has spent the last week trying to wrangle audio on the Pi Zero W.
Why would you do that?
I don't know!
Don't.
I don't know. No, I know
don't.
why. Because it interfaces with the Matrix voice, which is what Archimedes' new brain is. But
worst. Sounds terrible. Just throw it all away. Get better. Like, no, they're really cool. And also the cool thing about the sorry, I've just started doing it. Here you go.
That's fine.
Here you go. Yeah, so the other cool thing about it is you can just drag, it's got really good integration with a bunch of different music software as well. So I use Pure Data, which is an open source version of Max. Same dude made them. But basically Max, Pure Data, or Super Collider, which I've not actually used, but
I want to try Super Collider.
I've never done it.
I'm just evening up the strings.
Yeah. So yeah, Max Pure Data. When you've made your patch,
it's like
file,
a sketch for a
game. Exactly. You just drag it on to the board using the browser-based IDE, and it just plays.
Yes.
So it's super easy to use.
I did find it was hard to load audio files on the Bella Mini for some reason, or in using.
I've only ever used Pure Data with the Bella, and I've actually got. I
should steal your. Is that on GitHub? What you were showing the other day?
No, I need to do it. I'll put it on GitHub though. I'm so bad at putting anything on GitHub.
Oh yeah.
I feel like someone's just gonna judge me.
No way.
Yeah.
Put it on Hackster. We're super friendly. You can do it both. You can.
Yeah.
Hackster.io.
Yeah. Sorry. Is that where we are?
That's the name of the show.
So yeah, basically, I'll put that up. I'll put that up on the internet. Actually, that's a hack I made with the microbit. So basically, cool. I've got the microbit gesture controlling samples. Actually, of my friend Martine, she runs this project called Sister.MU. You've met Martine, haven't you?
Yeah, so I've bounced my voice off the moon.
Have you indeed? So Martine runs this awesome project with in a partnership with a satellite in, where is it, Norway?
Dwingaloo. I think it's in. I thought it was in the Netherlands. I could be wrong.
Maybe. Anyways, somewhere in northern-ish Europe. There's a satellite, and she works with them and bounces audio files off the moon, and then re-records them when they come back. And they sound super cool and real creepy.
It sounds like all those old recordings that you get of like Neil Armstrong and stuff.
So it's called Sister.MU, isn't it? Her project. Yeah. Anyway, it's really cool. And I'm currently using Pure Data and the MINI.MU, a version of this, to control cello sounds that are being bounced off the moon.
That's so cool. Do you know who was playing the cello?
My life?
Yeah.
I actually don't. It was at I can't remember her name. I remember what she looks like, but that's no good to you because I could. But it was at Music Tech Fest, which is an event at Frankfurt's Music Messe, which is a big corporate trade show kind of thing. World. What, Music Tech Fest?
Well, I went to one in Stockholm.
Yeah, I didn't go to that. It was my dad's 70th birthday.
Oh, congrats!
Yeah.
To your dad.
Yeah.
That's a big number.
Yeah, it's his birthday, so I didn't go. But it looked real cool.
There we go. Sorry, I'm paranoid about knots coming loose. I'm paranoid. All my electronic stuff is stuff coming apart, so I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah, no,
overbuild everything.
Yeah, so my circus sculpture creatures are completely broken.
You're what? Oh no, yeah.
I'm gonna have to try and fix them before tomorrow.
You have this really cool method I saw of you posted a picture of how you travel with them because they've got these huge antennae,
and that's why they're broken. Readers.
Oh no, really?
No. I mean, basically, they're both hacks. I mean, I made them both in less than a day, and as such, they are not built for durability. But they've been in Berlin, Paris, and San Francisco in 1 week. And what I do is they have these big long legs, and I draw the legs together, and then I use either a hairband or some electrical tapes to kind of put them in a ponytail. But that does fracture the solder joint. I actually sheared one of the gears, which wasn't ideal, but it's okay. I'm doing a residency in Denmark in August and September to create a packable version of them. So like a bit more of a robust thingy. Yes.
Robust thingies. My
robust
favorite.
thingies, yes. So I mean, I don't really exactly know how I'm going to do it yet. I think maybe, because it's going to be much bigger and it's not like, so currently the size of brush rods that I'm using for the Circuit Sculpture Creatures just fits in a normal pin hole. But I want to make them quite a bit bigger, so I'm going to have to create my own custom PCBs with larger pins, which should be fun.
Are you going to do that as an add-on to the Bella board?
Mm-hmm.
Or, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Like a cape on a cape?
Yeah, I mean, so currently I'm using a prototype. So the normal Cap Touch only has 12 pins. The ones that are mostly commercially available. But Baylor are coming out with a 26-pin Cap Touch board, which is what I've been using. It's
sweet.
So sweet. I think they're going to do a Kickstarter for that later this year.
I'm on that.
Yeah, they're really nice people.
So the Bear Conductive, for example, has like 12 Cap Touch.
Exactly,
pins.
that's the standard one. I can't remember the name of the
It's so nice to work with, but
chip
like,
they use, but yeah, 12 pins isn't really enough for making bigger instruments.
Yeah.
And Adafruit sell the same kind of. They all use the same chip. I'm actually not sure what chip Baylor are using for the 26-pin one, but
not a neat knot, but it's close enough.
That's close enough.
It's close enough.
Yeah, I either might use that or I might use like an FPGA.
Oh yeah.
My next door neighbour in Berlin just made a music-specific FPGA called the Doppler.
What?
Yes, I know. I should send you one. The Dada Machines Doppler. Did you see the Dada Machines?
Yeah. So
he lives next door to me.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's a very small world. Okay, so we have finished your glove. Now what we need to do is turn it inside out like a sock.
Yeah, what's the best way?
You just like this.
Do that. Okay,
just do it. Just do it.
I'm so nervous about it. Gotta have sound effects.
I know. What's life without sound effects? Sadness, that's what it is.
Sadness.
Oh my god, here we go.
That's so cool.
Ta-da, put it on.
Aha, gauntlet of power. Now I am unstoppable.
No, I'm sorry, world. No, it's okay. She can just make chiptunes.
Chiptunes are power.
Alright, so now we've made the glove, we've finished the sewing. Now what we need to do is, pop him in. Pop that one in there. Don't know where the battery packs are him, but apparently it is. And then what that does is it quite neatly pops over here, and then this pops here. That's the microbit goes in the pouch. Oh no, we didn't.
Can you see the LEDs through the?
Yeah. I mean, you can just a bit though. It gives it a kind of a subtle, creepy glow. Oh, we forgot to sew the speaker on. We need to do that as well. But yeah,
so I flip it out.
Yeah, just we don't need to flip it inside out. We just.
I still have that other needle threaded.
Oh, you do?
But I've lost it.
I don't believe you. You're tricking me.
I did. I took the one that you did and I just cut off the end when I think it's
alright. We'll just do it again.
Okay, cool. That means that maybe I have a stray needle.
How was your maker fair?
It was hectic and amazing. Yeah, the amount of little children who get excited about robots.
Oh my god!
Extremely high.
Did you see the T-Rex, couple T-Rex powered with a microbit? Yeah, it was powered with a microbit.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I know. Pally from Make Code, which is what we're gonna use, tweeted out about it, and I was like, oh my gosh! Yeah, it was a huge T-Rex made of like a low poly T-Rex made of cardboard.
Such a good stuff.
And it moved like its little arms moving, but they were powered by microbit.
That's fantastic.
I know, right? Really cool. Alright, so just real quick, we're just going to bang this on here. So you push it through, pull it around. You know, we know how to sew at this point. Kind of, anyway. Here we go. So if you just stitch it on.
This may be an impertinent question, but you made your wedding ring, right?
I did, yeah. So I recently got married to another maker.
Congrats!
Thank you. To Drew Festini, the Purple Prince. Who called him that? Someone called him that at Maker Fair, and I thought it was so funny.
It was,
now that's his name now.
I think it was maybe Mohib, because Prince
yeah, it was.
Because there was Prince Oshcat,
yes,
the 3D printed cat.
That's true. So yeah, I recently got married, and we made our wedding rings at Pumping Station 1 in Chicago.
That's so cool.
Which is an amazing makerspace.
I still haven't been, because I suck.
So good. Oh my goodness, it's like so huge. It's like a factory. I mean, I've come up in hackerspace.
London Hackspace is already pretty big.
London Hacks. Oh, you've been to the recent one?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's quite big, but it's on the edge of town as well. So London Hackspace used to be in Hackney.
Oh, they moved again. That's right.
Yeah, no,
I
they
have
have
not
one
been
B
in the new
now.
one.
No, it's it's pretty big. But it's also nowhere near as big as Pumping Station 1. Nowhere near. Like,
whoa.
And it's just, I don't know, it's really well organised and still all run by volunteers. I don't know how they do it.
Wow.
It's really cool. They make their own Club Mate as well, which as a Belen girl now.
Wait, what?
Yes.
What?
Yes. And I love
Is it good?
It's not a real hack if that's not Club Mate.
Is it good?
I don't know. I haven't tried it yet. I have my suspicions, but at least they're trying, you know?
Let's see if anyone said anything.
It might be terrible.
We've got a bunch of cool people talking to us. MINI.MU, very mini. Says Yanni. Ibrahim says PLC better. Not
Hackster cyborgs, yes.
Yes!
That's what we want.
So, Yanni also says Archimedes Owl controls Cyberglove. The opposite is actually going to happen.
Oh my goodness. What's it gonna do?
It's gonna cause him to do different animations.
I love it. Yeah. I love it.
So, he's gonna
How do you control Archimedes?
Right now, he just does random stuff, but he's got a button on the top, and what I programmed for Maker Faire that was not working was an emotion roulette, where basically we'd hit the button on the top, and so instead of just being blue light all the time, he would like pick an emotion and do a little motor animation.
Nice.
And like a corresponding color.
But what kind of signal? I mean,
that was just gonna be like a straight up button. But sure,
was it based on pi or?
Yeah, it's a pi 0W.
Yeah.
Hence the horrendous audio problems. And then a matrix voice.
Like analog integration with pi is real hard. I find
pushing a button is pretty easy.
Yeah, no, I find it like kind of complex.
Yeah.
I've always been like an Arduino girl rather than a Pi girl, though.
I have tended to be. Lately, it seems like I'm making more complex robots, so that means that I'm sort of having to. But it's cool because you can program in JavaScript and Python, both of which are really friendly. That's cool. Yeah. And actually, if you're into the microbit, then in the make code system, you can switch between block code and JavaScript.
We're going to show you that today.
Yeah. Spoilers.
What? Okay, so we've got our speaker.
Thanks for sewing that.
You're so welcome. I'm used to sewing and not looking. So okay, so we have our speaker. It is on there. Oh my goodness, we have our microbit with the buttons, the pins poking through. We have our battery pack. So what we're gonna do?
We have so many things.
There's so many things. Once you've done the sewing, it's actually real quick. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna hook up using these alligator clips. Forever. Team Crocodile Clips. Yes. We're going to hook up 0 to 0, 3V to 3V, and grind to grind.
That's so hard.
I know. Do you think you can manage this?
I'll give it a try.
There we go. I think it's kind of cute.
So when do you go back to Berlin?
Not until the 1st of July.
Oh, that's good. So you have some...
Yeah, I'm in the US and I'm in San Francisco until Sunday. Well, actually not just San Francisco. I'm going to Sonoma County to see Sherry. Who's rad. And possibly drink some wine. I don't know. Maybe. And then we're gonna go. Then Chicago for a bit.
I see. There's this sort of like rotatey thing.
I know, that's what I do because I think it looks cute.
Yeah, it does, and it kind of keeps them from catching on stuff like that.
And then Chicago for a few weeks, and then I'm going to be in Portland for Teardown.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, which is like it's going to be a hacker conference / party in the middle of towards the end of June. It's run by what were they called?
Crowd
Supply. Yes, thank you. Yeah, so I'm going to be actually. With a bunch of my music tech, I'm going to do a show and tell. I'm also going to be performing, which is kind of terrifying.
Cool.
Yeah, I know. I told them ages ago, I was like, I'll do a talk and a performance. And now I'm like,
yeah, you can get your ticket.
Yes. So fun. Yeah, it's supposed to be really good. I'm really excited about it. And I haven't been to Portland for ages, so... Okay, so now we're basically ready to make it work, but the one thing that's missing, so we've got our power here, we've got our brain, we've got our output, which is our speaker, but we need to tell it what to do. So we need to write a set of instructions using code and send it using the red cable.
Yes!
Alright, so what you do is you take the cable, you've got the big end and the little end. Big end goes into big computer, little end goes into little computer. Yeah? Yeah. Can you tell we're teaching primary schools?
This is great. But you also teach at university. What
Yeah,
do you teach?
I do. Actually, I just taught my first master's module, which was real fun.
Oh, cool.
I wrote a master's module on music tech hacking and how it's influenced music technology. Really interesting.
That's fascinating.
I'm going to be teaching PhD students this summer as part of this residency, so that's going to be cool. So yeah, I teach from about 8 years old all the way up to grown humans. So we go to makecode.microbit.org, not com.
I'm not spelling that right.
No, you're not. The Mikrobit.
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 There we go. It's like the frog version.
Exactly.
McRibbit.
Alright, so microbits make code. So what we're going to do is click on new project. And for anyone who's not used this before, I'll just give you a quick rundown of the different things in the screen.
Sorry, it's
if I move that, that's okay. If I move that, can I still click on things? Okay, cool. So it's loading the blocks, which is what we love to see. We do like a bit of we love a bit of
some
that.
tabs.
So essentially, Microbit is a block-based coding system that's designed for people's first steps in physical computing. We have 3 parts to the screen. You have the this bit here, which is your coding area. So anything you put in this major area is going to be
your cursor, but
anything you put in the big area and the big grey area that has the 2 blocks on it is your working code. Then you've got a column in the middle, kind of slightly to the left of the middle, where you've got different types of blocks. You can click on basic, and you've got a bunch of different blocks to choose from that control the LEDs or show the string, or you'll find your pauses and so on here as well. And then you've got a bunch of other things. You've got music, you've got input, radio, etc., etc. You then got to the left a visualization thing. So this is really great for seeing what your code does before you put it on your microcontroller. Or if you work in a school which doesn't have loads of money, which is a lot of schools, you can use this to give every child an experience of using the microcontroller without having to buy 50 of them, So I think it's real nice to be able to play around with them. Anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to go super, super fast. I like to, rather than overly explain things first, I like to do first. I like to do the make first and then explain after. Because once they've made it work, then you can explain why it works. And I find them more effective. And they're like, oh my goodness. And they also intrinsically understand it as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to drag over some blocks. So on start and forever, these are our loops. But we're actually not going to use loops. We're going to use like an interrupt thing.
So it's almost like the setup and loop parts of an Arduino sketch.
Exactly like that. But we're not going to use those. We're going to use inputs. So basically you've got these kind of interrupt things. So you can drag that over on shake. Here we are. So basically what it is it listens for a set of predefined gestures. You can go a lot more in depth with this and start, looking at kind of angles of rotation and so on. But to start off with, we're just going to use the pre-programmed gestures. So what we're going to do is we drag on shake. We're going to click on the little down arrow and you can look at all the different pre-programmed gestures that you can use. So we've got shake, logo up, logo down, you can do all sorts of things. You've got also free fall as well. One of my favorite implementations of this glove was this little boy who made a glove that played you the funeral march. If you fell off the bending. It was like, wow, children are so macabre.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're going to do just a real quick one on shake. Then we go to music. Now you can do all sorts of things in the music thing, in the music area. So we'll drag one out for right now, just to have a little look. Okay, so if you're playing the tone middle C for 1 beat, so of course you're changing the frequency and you're changing how long that goes for. And then if you click on the note, you can see you can actually click on the piano and it will play it for you. So that's kind of cool. So you can create your own tunes by stacking these blocks. But we're going to go even easier than that for right now. We're going to go bam, start melody. So there's these pre-programmed melodies. So on this, you can have all these different ones. I mean, you can choose one if you like.
Let's go with blue.
Okay, so there we go. And this is the first piece of code that I will teach. It's almost nothing. But we put this on and then they get it immediately.
Yeah.
So I like to do something real quick and then I will explain the theory behind it and talk to them about loops and logic and so on. But I think it's real good to just make something immediately. So they've got that satisfaction. They're like, yes, yes, come on, I made something cool happen. So then what you do is, we've got our, you've got our thing plugged in, that's great. So this is the first time we're going to say Alex Shake. We're going to
make sure that we've actually got the bottom part of this showing. Not quite.
Okay, so what we're doing is we're saving. Yeah, if we scroll up a little bit. There we are. So we're going to call that Alex Shake. We're going to save that. I don't know how your computer's set up, actually. So it might do I don't know how you don't.
It might do the save file. I think once we
click download and let's see what happens, eh?
Yeah.
So the save will save it to your homepage. I know. Well, we are live streaming video, so
that's true. Yeah.
You know, we can't complain too much.
I can. So I can complain all day.
So this will generate something called a hex file, and we're going to save that hex file onto our microbit, which shows up on the computer as a USB thumb drive, and then it's done. It runs the code. So here we go.
There we go.
Oh look, it's a handy guide.
Yeah. It's got these cute little paint drawings.
I know, it's really cute.
So this is taking a second, but it'll be pretty quick once I've got it on my computer.
And it's also super quick when you're not live streaming video.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you scroll down, so if you scroll down, you'll see the microbit comes up as.
And you can actually see this, but in Finder, I'm just dropping the hex file onto the device file that's shown up.
So it will automatically unboot itself. What am I talking about? Eject itself. And that error always comes up, it's fine.
On the Mac, it always gives this, disk not ejected properly, because it auto-restarts.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It disconnects itself.
Alright, so then we're going to do you want to go back to this view?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Awesome. Okay, so we've uploaded the file to our device, hopefully. We just got an error message, but we'll see if it works or not.
Yeah.
And I'm going to unplug the device. We're then going to take the battery pack, cable over the thumb and plug it in. Bloop. Let's make sure that the battery is turned on, which it's not. Okay, so now our code should be running. If it's uploaded, it should be running. And the way we test it is by giving it a shake. Do you want to give it a shake to see if it works? I do. Yay!
How long is this?
I don't know, forever. It's going to go on forever. Doom, 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 boom. Okay,
cool.
Yeah, well, there we are. So, we did our first code.
Yay!
High five. Oh no, we can high five with our gloves on. Mine's
This is what we were waiting for.
Yeah, I know. Oh my goodness. Quick.
Okay.
We'll see. So the an 11-year-old girl wrote the code on my glove.
Nice. This is great.
So mine's on my glove is Taylor Swift.
Oh, wait. Because you're shaking it.
Oh. It overplayed itself. I've also got a
wait, it
will do both. Yeah. So interesting,
but it's not polyphonic. It's just like
it's basically because it's based on it's not a loop. It's based on the interrupt. So basically, it's triggering. It'll trigger one and then the other. So, cool. But I also have an Easter egg on this one. I think. Let me see. No.
Yeah. I love this song so good for wailing.
Yeah. So yeah, that's
great.
That's my. I'm gonna take the button. So yeah, so that's how to make the MINI.MU. This is the very basic version of it. You can then go on to create loops. Oh, let's go back to the screen. Actually, can we go back to the screen and I'll show you?
Impossible.
Okay, awesome. So something that's real nice about the make code editor when you're teaching is that you can switch between blocks and JavaScript really easily. So you just click on it and it will show you the JavaScript behind it. And especially when you're starting to write tunes, so you've got these inputs and music. So we'll go back to blocks a second. And then, so the next step after the pre-programmed thing is to start playing around with the music. Okay, so you start creating your own tunes by putting on, for example, for the shake it off code is just, note by note. So you change if we
That's a lot of that can be really tedious.
I know, but let me show you a little trick. This is how you start getting kids to actually use JavaScript instead of just the box.
Oh right, you can copy and paste.
Okay, so you can copy and paste, okay. But say you want to do this. Okay, so we're gonna do this. We're gonna do that for this. Okay, right. So even though you can right-click to duplicate and then change it, it does get a little tedious, right? So if you've got a whole tune that you want to do, you can just say, well, switch to JavaScript. And then what you do is copy and paste, and then you change the music, and then you change the tone value.
Great.
And then you've got immediately a really, really simple and you don't feel like you're forcing it. It actually is easier to start editing it in JavaScript.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a nice non-forced way of getting kids to actually start using JavaScript. You can code the microbit in Python as well, using the MicroPython.
Using the MU editor. Right?
Yeah. But that's a lot, yeah, exactly. I hadn't thought about that before. Hilarious. So yeah, I mean that's like a whistle-stop tour of this thing. But I did also want to say that if you are not a child, you can use a few different tricks to get it speaking to your music software. Do you want me to show you quickly?
Sure.
Okay, so basically...
I think I have Pure Data on here, but I could be lying.
We'll just run through it quickly. Basically, if you go down to Advanced, you can just click on Extensions, and then you can find some things.
Ooh!
Yeah, so you can put in a whole bunch of different things here, right? So there's these special packages. So you got NeoPixels.
I got the robot bit!
Yep.
I've still never gotten that working, but I'm excited that it's even make code now.
Yeah, and what you can do in this as well is you can find MIDI. So you can convert your sensor data into MIDI values.
You're reaching for the... I'm still nervous about these scissors.
I know. Well, nervous of me or nervous of
over there.
Anyway, I mean, it'll take too long to
it's doing too much.
It's doing too much for to do this on the screen. But basically what you do is you install a MIDI package, and then you can get your microbit. The way I do it is I have two microbits. I have one... should we go back to the screen, maybe? Yeah, because it's going to take too long to download. Okay, so I have this one, which is then, and the code I put on this one is to radio because I like using radio. It's more, to me, it's way more...
It's magic.
Well, it's more reliable than Bluetooth, particularly in a classroom as well. Anyway, so I radio an accelerometer data, or whatever I want, to another microbit, which is connected to my computer using a USB cable, and that microbit has code on it to convert the accelerometer data that it's getting from the base, from the instrument essentially, into MIDI data. Then I use, on a Mac, I actually use the same thing on both, but it's a free bridge called Hairless MIDI. Have you ever used it before?
No.
It's free. I think it's open source as well. Hairless MIDI.
That's super weird.
Yeah. So you use Hairless MIDI, and basically what that does is it converts MIDI data. It's basically takes MIDI from a source, and then spits it out somewhere essentially. And Hairless MIDI will then allow your MIDI data from the microbit to show up on Pure Data as a note in or whatever. Yes. I know, it works really easily.
Years ago. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, it's Tom Fox was the first person to do it, and then some guy called Neil from Microbit made a further tutorial. Actually, no, Tom Fox did this because I made him one of the prototypes of the MINI.MU, and he found a way of getting it to talk to Pure Data.
That's super cool.
I know. So yeah, he's got a tutorial on his website. It's called Volpstruments. But what I'll probably do is, because I find a slightly easier way of doing it, I'll probably put it on GitHub with my, it's Volpstruments, like VU.
Oh,
no, as in Fox.
I mean,
because his name is Tom
they're
Fox.
both, yeah. That makes sense.
Here we go, Volpstruments. Yeah, and he's got some tutorials. He's a really nice person. He's a design technology teacher in the UK.
You brought all those materials to that.
Yeah, here we go. Look, how to connect your MINI.MU to Pure Data.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
So years ago, I made a set of... my first maker project ever was this awful harness that had, like, leather pieces up my arms and attached to these bare wires on my hands, and I would juggle tinfoil balls and they would connect switches and make weird little music things happen.
Nice.
And someone was like, you should make that into a MIDI controller. And for years I've been like, I don't have the skills for this. You can totally hook up 3 of these and have them sit. Oh,
yeah, you can. You totally
thing.
can.
You can make the thing.
Yeah, yeah. I know. It's cool, right?
Music juggling.
I know.
Let me try and do that for tomorrow.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Well, I have no time.
No, well, we could do it at the hack. Basically, I'm going to turn up with a bunch of broken instruments and try and fix them. So.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, because you know,
right,
they've all been slightly ruined.
I actually kind of love that, like as a meetup format, because like it's
just hack together and then play things.
Yeah, and it's less like
less
socially
pressure.
intensive. Yeah, exactly.
Like we've all got busy lives. We don't have to go and be like, here's my perfect project that works all times. You know, we sit there and help.
Anyway, yeah.
Exactly. I mean, come on.
They don't see you and you do the thing.
Exactly.
We've all got. Which one of these is mine?
Mine's the slightly fuzzier one.
Right. Yeah.
Because I've had it for a long time.
Cool. Mine's the one with the wonky leg.
Yes.
I love it. I love it.
I'm glad you like
so excited.
it.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're so welcome. I think it's kind of I need to put more projects up online for so all of the stuff we did today, including the code, is actually in the booklet.
Oh, cool.
So
maybe we can hold that up too.
Yeah, I will. Yeah. So here we have the this is how you code it here. So that's the basic thing, and then you've got some ideas for how to go further with what's next. But yeah, we need to kind of put on some more like medium level projects for people to play with. But yeah, I'll do that.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So for now, what people can do is they can check out the MINI.MU kit on Adafruit or on Pimeroni, Pimeroni, whatever. How does Guru say it? Pimeroni. But pirate.
Pimeroni. I don't know.
It's not pirate.
Pimeroni. Yeah, you're right. Maybe Pimeroni.
I mean, I don't know. I've never heard him say it, so.
I think it's Pimeroni. It must be Pimeroni. It must be Pimeroni.
I always assumed it was because of Raspberry Pi.
Paul,
but
tell us.
Not. So, yeah, sorry. Yeah. So Helen Leigh on Twitter, all one word. And Helen Leigh _makes. You can check out all her beautiful. I loved seeing this for the first time.
Which
so
one?
Pretty. The like little bug one on the
bug ones are so cute. I know. I really love them. They're so dramatic as well.
They're like so dramatic, but they like they're so like foldable and just.
I know. I need to. Oh, this is an Excel.
This is cute.
Yeah, that was at the Chicago Institute of Art. I didn't make that. I just really love neon.
It's so cute. It's kind of Keith Haring.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Ish.
Oh yeah, those are the wedding rings as well. You can see.
Oh yeah.
And this is my sister. She's had a baby now, but I made her a Circuit Playground Express embroidered thing. So basically, it lit up when the baby kicked.
Oh, how
really
are
cool. Good. They're a baby, you know.
And your sister is doing well?
Yeah. She's looking forward to the day when she's not a walking buffet. You know, that'll happen in a few months.
And then here is the Crafty Kids Guide to DIY Electronics.
Yes.
Fantastic. So tune into those, and thanks again for coming on. This was such a pleasure.
Fun.
And I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, see you tomorrow.
Yeah. Boosh. The mighty boosh.
I love that.